things which actually makes every investor very unique, and no financial plan, no financial advice really factors that into your plan when somebody is suggesting you something and you should take care of this. First one is very hard to do. One is the experience itself. Most of you who are here, so I assume that you have been in the market or have been investing in some form or the other, meaningfully or thoughtfully, or started thoughtlessly and then started thinking about it in some manner or the other, or started with IPOs, picking those forms outside this building sometime in the 90s, and when there was not much of a difference between buying a lottery ticket and getting an allotment. So you would have gone through all those things. The experience actually makes a difference. When you have 5-year experience, you behave differently in the next 5 years. When you are hit by, and markets are going to be like this only. If you think that, markets are going to behave in a very rational way, in a nice way, and it will become, when we talk about 15-20% annualized return over the last 20 years, equity turns out to be the best performing asset class. It never moves in a nice smooth line. It is never a very consistent thing. It gives you heartburns. It gives you panic attacks. It pleases you. Sometimes it spoils you. Sometimes it looks like, it's going up in such a manner that I have come across people in the last 25, 30 years of running value research, that many a times the state of the market, somebody who is new, many people try to abandon their career they think that it's a very difficult thing, doing the hard job, while easy money is to be made so nicely in the market. That all turns out to be wrong. So experience makes a huge difference, and try and spot yourself where you are. And for most Indians, the odds are greatly against us because historically, because of the financial distortion or the kind of economy we have been a fixed income country. Everybody starts, look at the irony that every individual who gets into an organized workforce starts with a provident fund contribution, which is largely fixed income. So a person's longest term investment gets into fixed income, and we get used to a fixed rate of return. So anytime the equity markets, and equity will remain the way it is, it'll give you 50% as it did in 2017, as recently as 2017, and it gave you a heartburn in 2018, and it'll give you those surprises, and that is what makes it 18, 20, 25% inflation beating, fixed income beating, long-term returns. And odds are greatly against you, because when it is a great time to invest, it is a very difficult for any individual to invest, because that is the time, the moment you invest, you lose money, or people have lost money. And when money is being made easily, when it is easy time to invest, you generally don't make money. You can recall, the master gains of 1992, or the Morgan Stanley, or the technology boom of early 2000 went up by, or 2007, as recent as 2007-8, when infrastructure went up by 100%, and very easily everybody queued up to put their money, only to lose money or lose patience. So you have to configure your own way. I'll be getting on to 8, 9 simple things for everybody to do to deal with all that. So that's point number 1. Your experience matters, and nobody can learn from other people's mistake. You have to lose your own money to learn it, because when the market behaves differently, it's a very dangerous phrase. This time it's different. This will defy the logic. No, it comes a full circle every now and then. One thing which is very unique, the other thing which is very critical to you, which is very unique to you, is how critical is that money. And that drives your thinking. That is something which no advisor or nobody can determine. I'll cite you one example. It's a personal example. And a scale of money can be life-changing for many people. We have a domestic help who has been working with us for many years. And I developed this belief system of a certain kind, that how people should be saving, investing. but it is a very difficult thing to do. So we started deducting some money from our domestic help's salary, and without telling her. And it was possible in mutual funds to invest invest in somebody's name with your own checks. So this happened about 12, 13 years back. So we kept doing that for 5, 6 years, 500-700 rupees monthly deduction. We will deposit it with our checks. And those days, SIP never used to happen with those electronic instruction. You have to give post-dated checks and fund companies will take it. I don't know if you recall those instances. So it happened. Then one day, SEBI may change the rule and said that other people cannot invest in other people's name. So it was done for safety of the investors, that whosoever is writing the check, the investment should be in his name, and the money when redeemed will come back to his bank account only. So that actually made it very secure. But that presented a big challenge for us, that now we had to open a bank account for her, and it was no longer possible to do that. And we will have to reveal that what is her scale of investments. As you know, you will be in your own surrounding, will be witnessing some such situations, some harsh, some very bitter, some not so bitter, that poor people, they have a husband or a maid, normally has a husband who thinks that he has to beat his wife every time he's drunk. So we had to reveal her financial worth and open the bank account. So it happened. It was also a very cumbersome thing in those days. But the net result of this was that the moment she understood what is her financial worth, what is her net worth, the husband stopped beating her. And that was the end of the beating, or being beaten. So that kind of money, and that was not some earthly sum of money. That was some few lakh rupees. But that few lakh was substantially, was a big multiplier of your monthly expenses. So when I think about it, the scale of money could be so empowering that you will do anything for it. And if that money goes down by 30% or 40% in 2007, it will be earth-shattering for you. When you have 1 crore of rupees and it moves by 1 or 2 lakh rupees a day, and you have been used to it, so how critical is that money is something which only you can determine. And you have to take corrective action. You have to devise your strategy, ask those questions. What is the downside? Because these two things, all the questionnaire that you come across, risk assessment, I will answer you 10 questions. Will you be comfortable losing 30% money? All those things don't work. Investor's mind is very malleable. Our minds change. When it's going is good, we say, oh, we don't care. We can take 40% off and we don't mind. And when it actually happens, you say, no, but this wasn't the deal. So reconciling to that, and only you have to really meditate. You have to think very objectively about it yourself. Then only you'll be able to figure out. And today, mutual fund industry, these funds, there are conservative funds, there are aggressive funds, there are aggressive equity fund. Here is a fund company which offers a very conservative equity fund, which can actually take you through with less ups and downs, less wilder ride. But you have different kind of asset allocation available in a very neat way. And you have to proactively ask those questions. So that's all that I have to say about the psychology and how to deal with it. How critical is the money and how experienced you are. And you have to devise your own rule. You are no average. Your circumstances are different, and that makes you unique, and you have all your skin in this plan. Nobody cares more than yourself about this aspect. So you have to better ask those questions. List your questions.